Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is the Elder Spork, and right here on the hottest day of the year, I am submitting to you the hottest speedrun on the internet today. That's right, I am in fact talking about Mario's early years preschool fun. We are submitting a 4 islands race, myself and Picante. I am the current world record holder in the 4 islands and the around the world 100% category. Picante is the second place holder for the 100% around the world category. Now, this is an edutainment point and click game. This is not your standard speedrun. This is actually very RNG heavy. But for the most part, it's a very quick, 12, 13 minute race to get in there with a lot of donation incentives that you can throw in there. There's 3 different characters that you can pick between that you can have the people donate to if they want to see Mario, if they want to see Yoshi, if they want to see Princess. Also, we can start as a 4 island race, and then you can actually have a donation incentive to upgrade to a 100% race. And even then, there's also a donation incentive to whether or not we can play with controller or mouse. So really, however you want to set this up, there's definitely different ways to get the viewers involved for deciding the fate of both of us doing the runs. Today, I'm going to be presenting you the 4 islands category. This is going to be the any percent. So there's 2 islands that are here. You have Counting and Body World that, for the 100% category, all you have to do is come in and then immediately hit the pipe and get out of there, because there's really no point and click activities to advance the game to do. There's stuff that you can click in there and do. One of the fun things to see is look at the sun. All of a sudden, yeah, sup son. So you go ahead and get there and get out of the pipe and you're done. All you do is go in and get out and done. So there's not a lot that goes on there. A lot of the meat and potatoes in this run are the 4 islands. You've got Opposite World, you've got Listening World, you've got Color World, and finally Shape World is the order that I run them in. Islands can be run in any order. The timer starts as soon as we get into the first island, ends as soon as we go down the pipe in the last island. So for this run, as you can see, you can choose between Mario, Yoshi, and Princess. I will be doing Yoshi just for the sake of picking one. So here we go. We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go to Opposite World.
We're going right to Opposite World. So the point of this is to click a point Luigi to start it. Now you have to pick the opposite of what they want to hear. So you have to click, and your character will run and hit it, and you have these awesome little voiceovers that happen here. The game was released in 1994 by the Software Engineers. They released several Mario edutainment games. They are responsible for a trilogy of Mario's early years games: Preschool Fun, Fun with Letters, and Fun with Numbers. They also released Mario's Missing and Mario's Time Machine, which are very popular speedruns. So right now, we're just hitting the opposites, going back and forth. It's kind of RNG how they pop up. Generally, this level kind of stays in the same spot, so it's really back and forth. You'll see Listening World, Color, and Shape World tend to be a little bit more RNG related to where things are placed, so you really have to use a little bit of guessing in the speed run to kind of put yourself in the position to travel the shortest distance, because you have to go that distance no matter what, and you want to make sure that you always end up closest to the pipe. So you'll see me clicking as soon as I read what they say, because it will not touch the item until she is done talking. But as soon as you get control of that mouse, you got to get over there and click it to get the character moving as quick as possible. Your reaction time is going to be what saves you time heavily. But as soon as you get quick enough and used to it, then it kind of falls down to RNG and just kind of trying to strategize where you think it might go. This game could definitely throw you for some loops. The world record was a bit of a grind. You see, this is only my 4th run, but I've been playing all of the Mario's earlier games for a while, and it can get a little grindy if you don't get the right RNG. The runs are, for the most part, optimized. I mean, nobody's really taken the time to go task and see what perfect RNG you can get. But 1243 is my current record. It is 1 second faster than the second place holder. I hold 7 seconds over Picante. The biggest joke I make right here is the opposite of dry. Nobody likes a dry sandwich. You need some mayonnaise, you need some mustard, you need some condiments in there. So I kind of argue with the game here every time I play this. But we got to follow the rules. We got to get through the next one. So as soon as you get through all these different scenarios, the music will play, you'll get a little fanfare, and then you have to, and then it'll automatically go to the pipe that start runs. And as soon as you click Luigi, that's when you start rolling the next one. So we're going to go through the pipe here. We're going to get to the next section. Typically, got to make sure you start Luigi right away because he's taking a nap, all right? Luigi does the meat of the work. So he's tired. He wants to take a nap, and I am Team Luigi. You'll get some banter here. Picante's Team Mario. We'll argue back and forth about who does the real work in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's Luigi, trust me. So, again, a lot of time to reel in, get a little banter going, have a little fun with the audience. Definitely a lot of time to read donations. It is basically one long auto-scroller of a game, let's be honest here. But it is definitely a, like I said, a short run. It's really good in a terrible game set. If you want to put a block together of bad games, this is really a nice breath of fresh air from the rest of them, where you have a lot of tech-intensive runs. This is something a little bit more easy. I can sit here and I'm talking to you the entire time while we're running this, so there's definitely room to add to it and kind of give the crowd a little breather between a couple of very intense runs if you wanted to. So, other things that you need to know. It was released in 1994. These are all edutainment games. They're all mouse-based, but can also be played with controller. When Picante and I started playing this, the world record, Literal Grill, did it on a controller. So there is a bit of difference in there, where the old records were all controller-based, and we came in with our SNES mouses and just totally obliterated those times. So, as you can see, it's kind of a back and forth, and I want to end on the right side of the screen. You always want to be on the right side of the screen when you get to the last one, and kind of get in that back and forth pattern so you don't catch yourself off guard with the run. So, but it's basic stuff. It's really something that you can put a kid down with, and you know, you work with opposites, you work with identifying shapes, numbers, colors, sounds. Fun with numbers and fun with letters is a little bit more of a cognitive thing, you know, kind of find this one, find that one, put a little more thought to it. So you'll always see you're in the final room when you only have the blue pipe in the middle. You'll see the blue pipes. You'll see the blue pipes in there, and you can exit any world at any time. So if a kid wasn't really advancing, they could get out of there and get to another one, because there's really not a goal to it. We kind of had to set... This is great RNG, by the way, right here. So not having to move at all, losing animations right there, that'll definitely save time. So there's really not a completed goal. You can play this infinitely. You know, you could get done with this, leave the world, go back in and play it again if you want to. So there was really no game over, no beginning, no end. This was perfect for young children back in 1994, and even really today. I would probably sit my daughter down with this so she can actually do some stuff, get some reading skills, counting, you know, identifying stuff that she does in kindergarten and first grade, that she's going into first grade. So it is a very interesting game in that sense. So we're going to split right here as soon as it goes black, and split, and we're going to go into the next world. So again, we're going to hit this one. I have to spend a little more time on. You're going to hear the noise of the animal, and then you have to pick the right one.
Which makes this sound.
So the good thing is, in order to better strategize, if you pick the animal, you will never pick it twice. So if you see the animal on the screen,
Which makes this sound.
so that's good RNG. Not the best. The best is staying in place. But if you see the animal on the screen again, you're never gonna pick it because you already picked it once.
Which makes this sound.
Perfect RNG right there, not having to move at all. So ideally, you'd want to just stay in the middle.
Which makes this sound.
So the dog was already there. We already picked the dog. I already know I'm not going to pick the dog, so I already moved my mouse over to between the two of them so I can get over there quickly enough. It's going to be between the pig and the cow. Terrible RNG having to go across the screen.
You chose the cow.
So I did get some really good RNG for this run, for my world record run. So
Let's go to color.
going into the next one, Color World, you're actually going to build a shape so you can kind of see where it's going. This is where strategy goes into. So I didn't want to get that black circle first. I would rather get rid of the stuff on top of the screen first and then kind of finish on the bottom right. So, you know, this one's kind of bad. You got to go through all of this to get up through there. I'm hoping I have to grab the green clover and the green circle next. I would prefer to end with the orange circle. So, that's good. Typically this game likes to do kind of what the opposite of you want. So, there's a good chance I'm going to get the orange circle next because... Oh, we got the good RNG. Awesome. So we do have to travel a little bit to get to the orange circle, but you have the lesser animation at the end to get through the pipe to get to the next one. So, but as you can see, as soon as you gain control of the mouse, you can go over and click on it and your character will go through there. So, makes the picture and you move on. That's kind of how it works here. So, with the next couple, you're going to be grabbing produce for some reason. They went from decorating. See, this is terrible. That's terrible RNG. Most likely we'll have to grab the yellow pear and, you know, have to travel the farthest. Okay, so that does switch up, but again, you're never going to get the blueberries again or the yellow pear because you already grabbed them. So now it's where the fruit probably moves. So ideally, I'd want the green grapes to stay right there, but because they're down there, there's a good chance they're not going to be there. They're probably going to be up on top because the game RNG is kind of against you. Now, not having to move there is kind of good, but you still have to walk across the screen there. That would have been more ideal for earlier in there. You kind of, like I said, the best way to save time is to go through the one closest to the pipe. So, wake up Luigi. Now we're on to the next one where, again, it's more produce. Because clowns and eating healthy are clearly, you know, hand in hand with each other. Everybody loves clowns and eating healthy, I guess. I don't know. Some of the other releases, they get a little bit better story-wise. I think Fun with Numbers, you actually go to the movies and go through the whole thing. They do sequences like this one. This one's not so much. It's kind of random stuff like this. They tied it in with the fruits and the vegetables, kind of. But you'll see, like, the next one you'll go through and you'll get pictures to draw here in Shape World. So, 5 seconds, pretty much 6 seconds behind world record. World record is probably not going to happen in this submission video, unfortunately. But now the colors really don't matter. You're just looking at the shapes. So, these don't move. So, you just kind of have to hope. And the middle one's kind of the ideal one in this scenario. But now it's guessing, what's the picture? What's the picture? So this is actually not bad. What's bad about it is having to travel back and forth on the screen, but you will end in the middle, which is closer to the pipe. This is kind of what I'm hoping for. So, and because I already know we picked everything else, we're going to grab the next one. And now we got the square there, and we drew a pretty picture, which is going to reveal clearly it's a rocket ship. So, on to the next one. Come on, Luigi, let's go. We got some work to do. Alright, so misclick there. I didn't get the clean click and get him going, so you lose a little time there. Ideally, we want the square last. Ideally, but, you know, RNG. Gotta love it. So, this really makes or breaks a run. And this is going to be for an interesting race because there is skill involved with having to click it as quickly as possible and positioning yourself and using the logic of it, but at the end of the day, the game dictates where you're going. And clearly that was a cat, okay? In 3 shapes we had a kitty cat. Beautiful drawings. So we're into the final room here on the final world of the run. So,
show me that rectangle.
Rectangle, perfect. Square is what we want. We want to go to square last because it's right next there. Super is my favorite audio right here. So, yep. Gotta love the RNG. So, we will be getting the circle last, and we're going to see the last pretty picture that we draw.
Find the
So
circle.
here we go. Come on, Yoshi. Let's do it. That works for me. We are done. All right, circle in the middle. What did we get? What did we draw? It's a guitar, clearly. Probably the closest out of all of them. As soon as it goes black, that's the end of the run. All right, that's it. 12:56 is actually a very good time. Sub 13 is a very good time for this category. We're looking at about a 13 and a half minute run. I would submit it at 13 and a half just in case something terrible goes happen, but I don't anticipate this going less than 13 minutes, to be honest. Obviously, introductions and everything like that. Blah, 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 blah. The 2 extra worlds for around the world would add a few more seconds, but again, this is actually 4 seconds behind the around the world time, so this is kind of on the worst end of the runs. So I want to thank you today for watching this submission video. I hope you guys take this into serious consideration, because as silly as a game this is definitely what you would consider a meme game. It's still something that is a lot of fun, and I know my community has a lot of fun watching it. I started running it because I'm in Picante's community, and he ran it, and we had such a good time with it. Hopefully you guys are willing to add this to your marathon. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.